every Saturday. You are in for a special treat tonight. Tonight, at 9:30, for the first time ever in this space, there'll be stand-up comedy for you! From Charleston, South Carolina! Let them have it, they love that shit. Hands together for Bill Davis!
Is this working now?
Yeah.
Round of applause for John Brennan, please. Give yourself a round of applause for finding spots on the street where your car's obviously going to get broken into. That's fantastic. I don't give a shit if this used to be a police station. They won't carry that. All right, look. We're so glad to be the first group to do terrible stand-up here. We're three stand-up comedians. We work the road. We're getting out from Charleston. John's an old friend from Theater 99, which you probably have heard too much about. And just to get you on our side, all three of us walked around today and noticed how much prettier Savannah is than Charleston. It is. It's the parks and the squares. It's absolutely fantastic. I want to give you a quick structure of how tonight's going to work. The guys with and the lady with the microphone are going to say funny things and you're going to laugh and applaud. Got it? Yeah. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, our first comedian tonight is a dedicated animal lover. She works in an animal shelter, but throws that all away to expose her dark side when she does stand-up comedy. Please put your hands together for Miss Sarah Napier.
Just let it play. There's like 4 minutes left. Hey, guys. Hello, Savannah. I've never been here before. Bill said that we did admire it. We did say it was a lot nicer. Now, I did see litter, but y'all's litter is different from Charleston litter. And then I saw like a kid's juice box on the ground. And in Charleston, it's all just like literal turds floating from our antiquated sewer system and PBR cans. So like, it doesn't take much to be nicer, but you guys are way nicer. We do have kids here and they don't die. I like that. I was trying to read the news for Savannah to be topical for you guys. Thank you. That's the joke. I don't read the news. But I was checking out I Googled Savannah news and some things popped up as they do on Google. And I'm just really excited for you guys. They finally identified that body they pulled out of the Savannah River. That's awesome. Look at you guys. I'm finding that I say just kidding way too much during sex. Thank you. So I used to work for Disney. I worked in Disney World. That's not the joke. I'll take applause where I can get it. So I really did. And when I tell nicer people that, they're always just like, oh, that makes sense. You're so chipper. I bet you were one of the princesses. And I love hearing it. But I wasn't. But I was friends with some of the princesses there. I was really good friends with one of the girls who was friends with Tinkerbell. She played Tinkerbell. You can't say that she played Tinkerbell because she's a real person. So we would walk around the parks. We were in Magic Kingdom one day, just chilling. We were both off work. She wasn't Tinkerbell then. And we see some people there doing one of the little meet and greets with one of the princesses. And I'm just like, oh, that's cute. And she stops and she said, I feel so bad for those kids right now. And I'm just like, I don't get it. Like, they all look like they're having a good time. And she said, no, they have to meet the fat Snow White. And I loved it. But also, like, what do you mean? Like, she looks like an average-sized human person who, like, has 3 square meals a day. Like, why do you keep me around just to see someone eat food? Like, come on, Tinkerbell, be a bigger person. Thank you. That's all I got. Anybody in here have siblings? 2 people and they're upset about it. Me too. I have a younger sister, and she used to do a bunch of dumb shit. Like, she calls them practical jokes, but I call it bullying. She would take my stuff and never see it again. It was really cute. But I was in a car accident in 2010. No one giggled at that. And I had to have surgery, so I missed a bit of school. And when I came back to school, apparently she had told everybody that I was having an addictomy.
Oh my God.
That's not a surgery. Yeah, see, he got it. Welcome. There it is. It's fine. I'll talk slower. I forget where I am. This is real South. I'm from Kentucky. It's not much better. So she told everyone I had an addictomy, and it was real weird. It just made for an awkward time because the kids are weird about it, and even the teachers were weird about it. And it super sucked because we were homeschooled. So I'm married. You can clap for that.
Yeah.
Apparently everyone here hates marriage because that was shitty applause. I'm happy about it. I'm married to an Asian gentleman. He's purebred. It's pretty good. There are some benefits. Being married to an Asian person, I'm automatically the best driver. It's really good. I never have to worry about calculating the tip when we go out to eat. He just does that. But there's one, really bad thing about it. So he's purebred, which means that both his parents are also purebred Asians. And I sometimes have to tell people his mother's name. She was born in Korea. Her given name, that's not that funny, people are born in Korea every day. Anyway, her first name that was given to her at birth, Y-O-U-N-G, Young. Later in life, she remarried, so right now she's married to a white man. His last name, D-I-C-K. Dick. Her middle name, also given to her at birth, which is a family name that fits just right snug in the middle, S-U-K. Yes, so her driver's license, her fancy mail, it says, Young Suck Dick. And I have to tell people that. And then I have to follow it up with, and she has no aspirations to pursue a rap career. Just wasting it. You guys ever been to Charlotte? Couple people. All right, there's more applause for Charlotte than for marriage. I want to talk to all of you guys afterwards. So I went to Charlotte with a friend not too long ago. We went, it was a leap day. I remember this vividly. We arrived in Charlotte at 10 p.m. I left Charlotte at 3 a.m. I saw 2 a.m. or 1 a.m. twice. And I was there long enough to know that Charlotte is a garbage town. It was awful. I watched a man jog up 3 flights of stairs and then vomit, and no one stopped around him. They just kept walking. I stopped and I was just like, do we help him? Is this what we do in Charlotte? Bye. But as I was leaving Charlotte, obviously we had a really good time. I'm driving, and I see on the side of the road one of those car fixer places. And the sign out front said, Handy Lube. And I'm a child. So I giggled. Then I got 45 minutes out, and I got really mad. Because I think that we've gone a bit far with the political correctness in this country. They could have called that place Spit and saved a lot of money on the side. That's all I'll say about that. Yeah. So who wants to guess how many cats I have?
Good. 4.
You're cute. It's more than 4. 9. It's less than 9. Fuck you. God. It's not. Guys, I have 7 cats. It's always a nervous giggle. No one's ever just like, oh, she has 7 cats? It's always just like, that makes sense. Yeah, I've got 7. Thank you in the back. I have a lot of cats. I'm what some people would call knee deep in pussy. Thank you. I have 6 cats that live with me on Earth. I have 1 cat that lives in heaven. I was about to compliment you guys, because in Charleston I tell that joke and immediately there's laughter everywhere. I'm just like, oh thanks, it's misery for me. So I had a cat die, and it was awful, and I don't know that I could have gotten through it without my husband. He was there the entire time. He was so kind. I was a mess. I'd never lost a pet, and God, it was awful. He was always there for me, and like I said, he is Korean, so none of that cat went to waste. So I got a Fitbit for Christmas. You guys heard of these things? One person has. Me. I got a Fitbit, and I thought it was going to be super awesome and like a lot of fun, but I take grievance. Because the last time I had sex, it registered it as a nap. And I didn't like that because I was on top. My husband was the one that was asleep at home. Oh, there we go. We've arrived. You guys, a few of you look young and hip and cool. Has anyone heard of the band NSYNC? A couple of you? I didn't mean like just a few of you look young and hip and cool, but I'm like looking at a few people and I'm just like, did you know comedy is happening here on purpose? No. But the band NSYNC, right? That was a popular thing. When I was younger, my sister and my cousin, we would just ride our little bikes around our like dirt area that was between the townhouses we lived in Kentucky. And we would plan our weddings with the members of the band NSYNC, as you do as a young girl in Kentucky. So we were just riding around, and my cousin was like, well, when me and Justin get married, and I was like, hold on a second, little whore. First of all, it is Justin and I. And second, it's me and Justin. Like, what do you mean? And she said, well, I'm older, so I get to marry Justin. And that was airtight logic when I was young. So I was heartbroken. My sister's like, yeah, I get JC. Does anyone else remember anybody else in that band? Did someone say Buddy? Lance, that's one.
Joey Fat One.
The Joey Fat One? He looks a little like Guy Fieri's son, so I just call him Guy Fieri's son. And then there's one that like disappeared off the planet or something.
Chris.
I don't know. Oh my God, Chase?
No idea.
Buddy, Chase, whatever. Anyway, I went inside distraught, and I'm staring at my NSYNC poster trying to find love again. And I stared at Lance Bass's face so hard that I'm pretty sure I made him gay. I don't know if that's how that works, but it feels like that's how that works. So I work at an animal shelter in Charleston. You can clap for animals, and if you don't, you're a monster. Aww. Some people didn't clap, and I said if you don't clap, you're monsters. So like, look at your neighbors, and if they didn't clap, maybe put some distance between yourselves. So I work at an animal shelter. I'm a humane educator. So what that means is I try to teach kids not to be dicks. It does not work all the time, but we try. We have camps who do all this fun stuff, and not too long ago we had a group that were in, it was like an 8 to 10-year-old camp, and we were taking the kids back to observe surgery. So we have a spay-neuter clinic in our shelter. Ooh, yeah, fancy. So we brought some kids back, and there was a group of mostly 8-year-old girls. And I'm outside the surgery area, we're at a window, they're looking at the surgery, my coworker's off doing something else, God knows what. And I don't want to brag to you guys, but I don't often get asked questions in my job that I don't know how to answer, because I'm very smart. We were watching this neuter surgery, and a little girl, 8 years old, looks at me and says, Miss Sarah, what does a testicle feel like? And I was just like, I don't know. Why would you ask me that? Like, I don't know. What do you think it feels like? And she's like, I think it feels like a stress ball. And her and all the little girls are just like, yeah, that seems right. We're 8. And then my coworker walks back in the room and they're like, Miss Heather, what's a testicle feel like? And this bitch says, let's find out. Goes into the room, gets the testicles, puts them in a baggie, like a Ziploc bag with some olive oil. We take them back to the fucking room with us. And all the kids in the camp, all these 8 to 10-year-olds pass around this bag of testicles. And they're just like, And it's awful, and I'm dying, and I still haven't recovered from this. And they're passing around, and the one girl I just hear screeching, they do feel like stress balls! And so that happened, we got the testicles away. disposed of them, and they got back to coloring, and things were quiet, and I really don't like quiet children. And then they sent that same 8-year-old girl up to me as tribute. And she said, Miss Sarah, what would happen if we microwaved the testicles? And on one hand, I want to reward innovative thinking. Like, that is an intelligent young lady. You're asking the right questions. On the other hand, I want to run out of that room screaming to every man that might wrong her, because I know what she's capable of. They feel like stress balls, and she'll pop one of the damn microwave. Just watch what you do, boysies. We recently had some high schoolers come in. How often do you guys like check in with high schoolers just to see how things are going? Anybody ever do that? Let me tell you real quick. So we had some high schoolers come in, and they were observing a necropsy. It's an autopsy on an animal. So sometimes we get to do those for educational purposes to find out maybe why the animal died, if we have a cruelty case to help gather data for the investigation. So we were observing this cruelty case, a small room, high schoolers, veterinarian, dead dog. And she opens the dog up, and one kid in front of her shouts for some reason, "Damn, Doc, you're all up in them guts." And that's our future. He can vote soon, and I'm really scared. So we have 2 rabbits that live in our education department. Anybody ever had a rabbit? Yes? Male or female rabbits? Male, so you might know this one, my friends.
One.
Just one. Okay, maybe you don't. I don't know. It's just one rabbit, damn it. So we have rabbits that live with us in our education department. Before I go any further, I do want to let you know, first everyone, just take a quick look. I'll do a spin. I want to just say it. No one has ever offered me drugs. Never, not once. So we've got these 2 rabbits. They're 2 male rabbits. And all of a sudden we start smelling something that's kind of weird. And it turns out that if you don't clean your rabbit's penis, they've got scent glands that can like collect gunk. Let me just keep doing this for 40 more minutes. And it smells like marijuana from what I'm told. And we found this out, like, things didn't smell great. We have 2 fucking rabbits in an office, so like it doesn't smell fantastic. But we noticed because one kid that was petting the rabbits said, "This rabbit's face smells like my dad's car." Let me break it down. There are a couple things we know. One is that these 2 rabbits face fuck. Like, there's no other way that this guy's face is going to smell like that guy's dick. And the second thing that we know from this story is that that child's father is negligent. Thank you. All right, last thing I'll tell you guys before I head out. I think it's pretty evident that I enjoy cats. Just want to circle back around and see if you guys remember that fact. So this year, for our summer camps, they gave me a whole week camp to do whatever I wanted. So I made a fucking cat camp. All about cats. And I had all the stuff together. I was going to present it to my boss and be like, "This is what we're doing. Best camp ever." And I like to name things, and I love acronyms. So I bust in, got my schedule, all my guest speakers, all my crafts, and I'm like, just wait a second, guys, because this isn't anything compared to the name of this damn camp. You know how I feel about acronyms. This camp is called Cat Ladies in Training. But you see, I hadn't written it down yet. I just said it, it had just come to me. And then my boss is like, "Sarah, we can't call it that for a couple reasons." Cat Ladies in Training. We all there? Yeah. So I was upset at first, but then the more I think about it, it's probably a good thing we didn't call it that, because if we had called this camp Cat Ladies in Training and put the acronym on the website, half the parents wouldn't have been able to find it. Just kidding. Thank you guys so much for having us out. I'm Sarah Napier.
Sarah Napier, she plays Christian. She's not. Get on the inside. Get on the inside. All right, our next comedian tonight is a former Baptist youth minister turned bartender who will tell you without blinking that all children are garbage. Ladies and gentlemen, Sam Hendry.
Youth
Thank you so much. Let's hear it for Bill Davis, everybody. Oh my. Hello. Yeah, I used to work at a church. No, I don't. I still love Jesus, though. There's just no money in church. Unless you lie to people on TV. There's a bunch of money in that. Are you guys unaware? I spend a lot of time doing nothing productive at all. I watch a lot of movies. Does anybody watch? I know. It's crazy. It's a life I live. Does anybody like scary movies? Scary movie fans at all? Yeah. Yeah, I like scary movies. The problem with scary movies is there's only like 4 types. You've got serial killers, ghosts, cabin in the woods, exorcists, right? Maybe aliens, if it's like a weird one. But the problem with people in scary movies are that their family dynamics are terrible, always. They don't have a good setup. The wife will come to the husband and be like, honey, I have these scratch marks on my stomach from a demon. And he's like, you're just emotional. What? Leave. Go, leave your husband. I don't understand. That's the other thing. If a ghost presented himself in my house, that is now his house. I'm moving out. Some people are like, this is my house and my family. Dude, whatever. Get another, clearly he can't find another place to live. It's all good. No, I don't know. I think if you had the choice, would you rather be in a ghost scary movie situation or a serial killer scary movie situation? Raise your hand for ghosts. Okay, raise your hand for serial killers. Okay, serial killer is the right answer, by the way. So first of all, ghosts, I don't know, I feel like in order to fight a ghost, I have to learn Latin, and I think there are herbs involved, and I don't have time for all of that. It's very exhausting. But the other thing with serial killers is I'm not a super strong guy, but I feel like I could punch a serial killer. You know what I mean? That's a first step towards progress of defeating this problem. But I don't know, I feel like if anything, I could just out crazy a serial killer. You know what I mean? If he was like, I'm gonna cut your legs, I'd be like, I'm gonna cut my legs off. He's like, whoa, man, jeez, calm down. You need those. I spend a lot of time watching videos and YouTube I spend a lot of time on. And I watch, you guys know what GoPro cameras are? The cameras that kayakers strap to their forehead. I saw a video on YouTube. Somebody had taken one and placed it in a dishwasher, which doesn't sound that interesting, but have you ever seen the inside of a dishwasher, bud? It's incredible. I watched a full rinse cycle. It's amazing. But what's worse is that I won't do my own dishes, but I'll watch some guy's dishes get done for 45 minutes while mine are in the sink growing their own ecosystem. But it's good, man. Facebook videos are a different kind of video than YouTube videos. My mom likes to send me Facebook videos, and that's fine, I guess. But I don't like them, and I understand that it is my cynicism and my millennial douchiness that makes me not like happy things, right? But just hear me out on this story. So my mom sends me a video, and she says, I know you hate these, I want you to watch it. So it's this, it was also literally Mother's Day. I said, this is your present, I'll watch this video for you. So this, it's a cartoon, this mom comes home, right? She comes to the door, she's got this box. Timmy is sitting on the couch playing video games, right? She goes, Timmy, I'm home. He goes, shut up, Mama, I'm playing video games. She's like, oh, Timmy's a dick, got it. And then she says, I got you something. And she places the box on the table, and he's like, move, I can't see, Mom. So then a puppy pokes its head out of the box, right? And he's like, oh, a puppy. And then it hops out and is running around happy as could be. But you realize that the puppy only has 3 legs, right? It's a little heartbreaking. But doesn't phase it at all, doesn't slow it down. And then you see Timmy's heart start to soften a little bit. And then he gets up to play with the dog, and he's also missing a leg. That's the whole, right? Isn't that? Here's why that's dumb, okay? That's so stupid. Because, first of all, what kind of mother gets their crippled son a crippled dog? We were gonna get you a normal one, but I mean, look at you, man. You shouldn't have gone jet skiing. We told you. It was not great. Yeah, dogs, man. Dogs are just the best. I don't know what's up with that. Why are all dogs so cool? I don't know. I'm the dog person. She's the cat person.
What?
I'm trying to come out as a dog person. I was talking with a buddy of mine and saying, I really envy the life of a dog. They sleep 14 hours a day, they poop and they eat and all that stuff. He said, yeah, but they die when they're like 15. I was like, that sounds great. Man, my life after 15 has not been glamorous. I got my first job and I was like, what is this? Like, you do this till you die. That's it. This is the next thing on your agenda for the next 65 years. No. I don't know. Does anybody know what Let Go is? It's an app. It's like Craigslist, but for hipsters, you kind of... sure, yeah. It's, I saw, there's a free section, and I saw someone was trying to give away a painting of Jesus. So, a couple of things. One, they weren't selling it, because I think that's a sin. I don't think you can do that. Can you sell a painting of Jesus? It has to be for 40 silver pieces. But painting of Jesus, but also that means that at some point that person had a picture of Jesus in their house, and then they did something, and they were like, we gotta get this picture of Jesus out of my house. But what was that moment? What happened? You know what I mean? Like, I've done weird stuff, but like, I don't know, I just picture him like coming out of the bedroom, like covered in chicken feathers and like jelly. Chickens are running. Like, yeah, we gotta get that out of here. We can't, yeah, so they're trying to get rid of it. If anybody knows how to get jelly out of carpet, let me know. That would be awesome. I'm a religious person, and I like talking about religion. I find it enjoyable, but sometimes it'll take you to a crazy place, you know what I mean? Because not all religions are normal. Can I say that? Okay, cool. This one time these Jehovah's Witnesses came to my door, and they knocked on the door, and there were these two sweet old black ladies, and they said, do you have a moment to talk about the apocalypse? And I was like, yeah, of course I do. Get in here. What are you doing? Let's get into it. So then she hands me all her pamphlets and stuff, and they have like these big mushroom clouds on them, and she's like, did you know that there will be a word of disease and famine that will descend upon? I was like, oh my gosh. So then, in the middle of her spiel, I look down, and one of the women has 6 fingers on each hand. I was like, you're a sign of the apocalypse. That's gotta be in the Bible somewhere. I don't know, and it wasn't like, because I know you're imagining, and it wasn't like a nice taste, like normal finger, you know what I mean? It wasn't like this. It was just like a pea-sized nub dangling, but it had its own little mini nail. I kicked him out of my house. But I really didn't want to like be too mean, because I was like, if you put a hex on me, man, I don't know, this is gonna be rough. Yeah, I was raised Christian, and I didn't realize I was being raised differently until who grew up religious of any kind? Anybody at all? Yeah, we're in the South, right? And me and my friends were going through our old CD binders, remember those? We were looking through, I was like 12, and they had like Limp Bizkit, and like Eminem, and like all the cool bands, and I literally owned the soundtrack to Sister Act 2. And they were like, why do you have that? And I was like, have you listened to the Oh Happy Day rendition? It's amazing. Whoopi and Lauryn Hill, and it was a good movie. I'm just saying. Yeah, growing up religious was weird. Because I wasn't allowed to watch I wasn't allowed to watch Rugrats. Because my mother said that Angelica was too mean. And I was like, she's the antagonist. She's supposed to be. That's how conflict works, Mom. She didn't think it was funny. But I wasn't allowed to watch that, and I wasn't allowed to watch Wild Thornberrys. Do you remember that show? She could talk to animals, but my mom thought that it was witchcraft, that she could speak with animals. She was like, well, turn that off. And Mom, didn't a cucumber and a tomato tell me about Jesus last week? I feel like it's in the same ballpark a little bit. I smoke an electronic cigarette. I know. It's like the douchiest thing about me. But I do, and I like one of the big obnoxious ones that's like a box for some reason, you know? Like, when did we move to box from cylinder? I feel like it was pretty... Anyway, I vape, and I was at this stop sign the other day, and this dude in front of me saw me vaping in his rearview mirror, and then picked up his e-cig and like wiggled it at me, because he saw I was like, no! Absolutely not! I will not have camaraderie with you over the fact that we're both douchebags. This is a terrible plan. And what was his, like, what did he think was gonna, I would be like, you vape? And he's like, you vape? And I was like, meet you at the food court, I guess. I don't know. Let's hang out by those kiosks. Speaking of vaping, I'm a virgin. Welcome. Hi. No, it's true. I'm actually a virgin. I'm waiting until I get married. I'm 28 years old. I've been doing this joke for a long time, and that number goes up each year. Makes me want to die. No, really, I am. And I'm waiting until I get married. And it's weird because, I don't know, you don't have a lot of pickup lines because you can't really back up what you're saying, you know what I mean? So people, the best I've got is like, hey girl, I've got a ballpark idea of how to fleece you. Like, I read some pamphlets once. I think I've got the gist of it. I don't know, people ask me, they say, you know, you don't have sex, but can you do like other stuff? And I was like, not really. It's sort of an all or nothing deal. It's not like I can sneak one past God. And he stuck it in her butt. Still a virgin. I didn't specify which hole. It was, yeah, that one makes me uncomfortable too. I don't like that joke. Ladies, I don't know if you're gonna understand this, but everything a man does is to improve his chances of getting laid. So the shirt he wears, the car he drives, the music he listens to, the hobbies, you know what I mean? You gotta increase your chances overall. And I don't have to worry about that. So like, I think barbershop quartets are kind of cool. You know what I mean? But like, what are you not sleep with me? You got nothing on me, man. It's incredible, it's free. I love it. Where am I at? I used to work at this restaurant. I used to work at Buffalo Wild Wings for 4 years because I hate my life. And this one time, I had mutton chops because I don't make great decisions, obviously. But everybody there called me Logan, which is Wolverine's real name, which is not a bad nickname. Hugh Jackman plays Wolverine. I'm cool with that comparison. But then they found out I was a virgin and called me Bambi the rest of the time. I went from a mutant clawed killer to a cartoon woodland creature in an afternoon. It was quite, it was quite terrible, actually. But I don't have chops anymore, and I'm still a virgin, so show them. Sometimes, I'll say this last thing, and I'm gonna get out of here. Sometimes people will use sex to manipulate other people, shocker, right? And I don't really have, like if I get a call from somebody and they're like, you know, hey, can you bring this to my house real quick? That'd be really great. I'm like, no. I don't care how much your brother needs his EpiPen. He shouldn't eat peanuts. He knows better. You know what I mean? I feel like he made him up. I didn't. It's all good. All right, I think I'm going to get out of here. Thanks, guys, for listening to Ramble. Let's get Bill back up here.
That's enough. Let's keep it going for Sam Hendry. Guys, we've come to the part of our show where the kids have had their fun and now it's daddy's turn, and I hate myself for saying that sentence. It's worth noting that both Sam and I dress like hip, cool, young things, and then Bill literally chose to dress like a middle school principal. But like the cool one who's like, nah, I'm a principal. Bill Davis has written comedy for the stage, for the screen, and someday maybe he'll write it for money. He is going to be your headliner tonight. My friends, ladies and gentlemen, this is Bill Davis.
Thank you very much. Oh, I love that song. Am I the only one who's played CBGBs here? Am I it? All right, good. Let's get that out of the way. First off, big round of applause to our friends at Front Porch Improv for bringing us in here to the Bull Street Lab. Give them a round of applause. They're very sweet, they took a big risk. But give yourself a round of applause for supporting live comedy and putting off getting drunk as shit for another hour. All right. The waiting to get drunk thing, that's suspended to the RAF flyers. I understand you're already wasted. One guy had like a six-pack like this, carried it, which is like the only way I'll ever. Thank you. Is it Savannah Connection or Connect Savannah? What's it called?
Connect Savannah.
Connect Savannah. That was so kind. Who saw that, by the way, on Connect Savannah that heard about the show? You were just wandering down the street and said, "Fuck it, let's go to this police station. This looks great." Okay, that's awesome. I love this room. This is a former police station, and this is where they would put on the police plays, like every. It was always kind of like morality plays, you know. And remember, kids. Where my drinkers at? Make some noise. All right. Where's my pot smokers at? Make some noise. How about my crackheads? How about my Trump voters? Savannah's a good town. That's fucking great. Trump voters are below crackheads. That's beautiful. Give yourself a round of applause. If you're not currently addicted to crack, or voted for, I'm not going to go political tonight. I'm not a fan of the president, but I'm a patriot. I want to find some common ground with him. And this is what I found. Just like Donald Trump, if given a chance, I would totally hook up with his daughter Ivanka. I would. That's an attractive woman, you know. Aftermarket shit going on there, but This is an attractive audience also. Give yourself a round of applause. You're looking good. And I say that mathematically because it's a small room, so I assigned each and every one of you a number. I put the number of you into 48, into a bag, and then divided by, and on average, you are more than an attractive audience. Round of applause. That's an average, so that means half of you are more than attractive. I would use words like sexy, smoking. As for the other half of you, well, you're women. You know who hates that joke? My wife hates that joke. But she's Catholic, she's not going anywhere. Shut the fuck up, Kim. Turn on Queer Eye. But she'll try anything to stay together. Don't laugh, this is your future. And yeah, they're real. Eyes are up here. Pow, 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 pow. Anyway. So my wife's idea was, hey, let's have a baby. And I'm like, hey, I don't want to lose the sleep. And I know what that involves. And she was like, okay, let's adopt. And so I looked into it. It was $7,000. I'm closeted and cheap. I said, honey, we can only afford to abduct. That was the plan. So we went to North Charleston, which is sort of like Canada is to America as North Charleston is to Charleston. And we went up, it's less pretentious, it's cheaper, and everyone's on government welfare. All right, so we go up there. We go up there, we go to the Walmart on Rivers Avenue, and we drive around until one of those meth head moms isn't paying any attention, and we'd snatch one of their babies. God damn, that was the longest 5 minutes of my life. Wouldn't the world be a better place? Wouldn't we all be a little bit happier if Anthony Bourdain had shot Guy Fieri? Wouldn't we? Right? Right? Fuck him. You know? Kate Spade hung herself with a scarf from her own collection. And you know it wasn't burgundy and blue because she doesn't want to be, you know, matchy-matchy. I get a slow clap in the back room. Oh, they'll just bomb. Everybody syncopate. I'm always saying the wrong thing. Last week, I told my wife I didn't think Brad Pitt was that handsome. You know what she said? Leave the mask on, I'm almost finished. Best thing about making love to your wife while wearing a Brad Pitt mask? She can't tell you're crying. Yeah, you don't want to see that dissolve with my shirt off. Improv people have a lot more energy. I start running around like that, I look like a mama dog dodging traffic. It's a fucking nightmare. It's a goddamn nightmare. Got a real office job this week. Give me another round of applause. I did not see that coming either. I was so surprised. The lady asked me the question, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I was like, 2023. They gave me the job anyway, and they said, we'd like to take you out to the last Bennigan's in America as a congratulatory lunch. And I was like, wow, nothing says you weren't the first pick, like Bennigan's for lunch. And the lady, and the head of HR said, do you mind if I pray before we eat? And I said, do you mind if I make faces while your eyes are closed? And so now I have unemployment, so there we go. That was I have a 16-year-old daughter. She's about to turn 17. And completely in love with her. Just love her to death. And she said, for my birthday this year, Dad, could you stop with all the dark, weird jokes and just tell dad jokes like all the other fathers? And I was like, what's a dad joke? I didn't know. Just, like corny jokes like, hey, I'm hungry. You're like, hey, hungry, I'm Dad. I'm like, God, that's terrible, but I'll try because I love you. And so she came up to me last week, and I had the perfect chance. And I blew it. I'm going with the air conditioning. I blew it. She came up to me, she said, hey, Dad, I'm pregnant. And I'm like, hey, pregnant, I'm Dad. She's like, no, Dad, bad timing. You're talking about bad timing. You're pregnant. She's like, no, Dad, can I have an abortion? I don't know, can you? Zing! I think the question is, may I? And you better hurry, because Kennedy's off the bench in a couple weeks. Pow, 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 pow! A couple things you need to know about me. My family's largely Korean. I'll get to that. My family's largely Korean. I'm fat. And I pretty much host trivia for a living. Now, on the Korean stuff, my wife is Korean. So thankfully my kids look nothing like me. And, well, she's half Czech and she's half Korean. Right, so she's a Czech mix, right? She's not a big woman. She says she's 5'1", but we all know she's 4'13", right? She's small. To quote my wife during sex, apparently I put my elbow on the snorkel. Yeah. But she's half Czech and half Korean, so she'll eat cabbage. Boil it with meat, bear it in the yard, she'll eat cabbage. So my kids look nothing like me. I got a Kyle and a Maggie. Kyle's a college baseball player. It skips a generation. And Maggie is my 16-year-old social justice warrior. And we went to this noodle shop to eat, this Chinese noodle shop. And Mien, if you want to get into it. And the lady came up with the bill, and she looked at the three of us, and she looked at me. And she looked at the three of them, and then she looked at me. And she went, all together? My son's an asshole. And he goes, yeah, that's right. We don't have to listen to you, Craig, because you're just our stepdad. You're just blowing up our mom. We're not out of here. And she hardly pissed me off because when she set the table, it was like chopsticks, 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 big ass spoon. I'm not arguing her decision. I'm not saying it's the right call, but I was wondering is it because I'm fat or because I'm white? So Kyle stomps off and I'm just sitting there with my spoon. Everybody's looking at me. And my wife leans over, okay, you pay for this one, I'll pay for the next three. No divorce kids? Wow, that's a change. So my daughter blossomed not too long ago. And she was wearing normal kid bras. Then all of her shit started shooting out the side, and it was weird. And so, but she's very self-conscious because she's the social justice warrior type. Like if you ask me what team I cheer for in the NFL, I say the Washington team, because I'm not allowed to say the R word. And so I wish that were a joke. And so we went to Target early on a Sunday morning because we figured that's when no one would be there. It's like 8:30 in the morning. We go in. And she goes in and she grabs a bunch of big girl bras and she flies back into the room quietly. And Kim and I are standing there. And it's like a Tetris piece. It's like, and as soon as Maggie gets into the changing rooms, a bus from a local senior citizens auxiliary women, just like 80 gray hairs, just pour in, because the clearance section is right in there. It's like, our money's gotta last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I don't know how long, but we're gonna die. And so they're all in there, and they're just like furiously, and all of a sudden, you hear Maggie, in like this little quiet moment, someone goes, yep, I'm a C cup. And everybody stops, and they look at Kim, and then they look at me, and they look at Kim, and they look at me, and this one lady goes, yeah, he got daddy's boobs. That was like power of prayer. So I'm fat. I recently had a health incident, which I thought might be a heart attack. Turns out it wasn't. But I had to change some things. I went, cut out cheese, cut out salt. Oh, hello. Anyway, and this last Thursday, for the first time in 12 years, this is an applause break again. I'm prompting you. I got on the scale, and the first number was a 2. There's still 4 numbers. Don't get me wrong. You know the old line that the camera adds 8-10 pounds? Well, I've eaten like 12 cameras. Apparently one of those big VCR cameras that dads used to carry on their shoulders. I wanted to tell you something about my dad. My dad was Washington and Lee and Chapel Hill. He was from the old school. He was from a simpler, angrier time. Back when being white was still an alibi. And he didn't really cotton to the idea of me dating Kim initially. So we came back to visit him up in Charlotte where I grew up, and Dad said, hey, Bill, you still dating that Oriental girl? Right. And so I'm like, Dad, people are Asians, things are Oriental. My dad goes, oh, my bad, let me rephrase. Is that Asian girlfriend still giving you all that Oriental poontang? It's okay, he died on Christmas. No, he did. Yay, thank you. It's so weird. He lived in Taiwan at the time. It's a long, weird story. And my brother brought back his remains. It's not freeze dried. What's it called? What's it called?
Freeze dry.
Not freeze dried. Freeze dried. No. Jay Giles band. Cremated. Thank you. And wanted the kids to know that their granddad was back, their pawpaw, so I put it on the dining room table with a glass of water and a note saying, "Instant grandfather." Not the best dad, I'll be honest. Not the best dad. And I'm trying to exercise so I can be around longer. Do you know the best thing about diabetes? Half off shoe sales. I play a lot of tennis. I'm on some any tennis players, any USTA tennis players make some noise? Sarah's always teasing me when she sees me play tennis. She's always like, "I don't know what your ankles are made out of. We should build bridges out of that shit." I have a buddy of mine who has type 2 diabetes, very advanced, and he has a service dog that alerts him if he's about to crash, right? And every time I get around his dog, it goes ape shit. I couldn't figure out why. And then I finally figured it out. It's because it didn't like me stealing its kibble. Shit's good. Here's a piece of excitement. I turned 50 this year. Give me a round of applause on that. Oh, thank you. So this was the year that my age intersected with my belt size. Very excited about that. So that means next year I get to get a little fatter. Though my doctor told me if I gain another inch around my middle, I'll lose a foot off my leg. Got it. There it is. I have a degree in English. I didn't get it all. But I got my AARP card, huh? Look at that, right there, huh? Right. I get discounts on things I don't need. It's great. And I was excited until I saw it had an expiration date. How do they know? And my wife said, "No, Bill, it's an invalid after date." I'm like, what if they mean invalid after? October 2020 is going to be a bitch for the Bill man. I don't exercise a lot. The only time I do crunch sit-ups is when I try 69 with my wife. She's short. Everybody have a good July 4th? Right? The old failed 69 into, Yeah, this year for July 4th, I gave $100 to the Wounded Warrior Project, and they sent me this really cool blanket that was so big it almost covered the parts of veterans that the VA won't touch. We don't do enough for them. That's what I'm saying. And he also sent me this Wounded Warriors, and it's wicking material. It's a 3X, right? Just like my porn. It's like wicking. And because of my size, the shit looks life size. Like maybe like a Mexican guy trying to get his dream, get into America just on his shoulder. And I have a bad knee. I know, bad guy, heart trouble, knee. Listen to me. And my family. And we went to go get lunch that day at a little joint not too far from our house. And I go walking into this place with my Wounded Warrior shirt, my Asian family, and my limp. And everybody in there was just like, I was just like, what the fuck? This guy came up and said, I'd like to buy you lunch, because he's not going to say brunch, because he's hetero. I'd like to buy your lunch because of the sacrifices. And I'm like, it's not downtown, there's plenty of Oh, I get it. Now this put me in an ethical quandary. Because if there's anything I love more than huevos rancheros, it's 2 huevos rancheros. And so I did the right thing. I told him that lunch, like freedom, isn't free. Not the biggest payoff, but it's what I got. I mentioned earlier that I host trivia for a living. For years, I've been a state and national award-winning political reporter, working for the New York Times, a bunch of different people, and but I host trivia because I live in South Carolina, and being a writer in a state where no one can read turned out to be a terrible business model. People are always like, oh, that means you know Lindsey Graham. And I'm like, yes, I know Lindsey Graham. And he's like, is he gay? And I'm like, I asked him, because they made a big issue of it. And they said, I asked Lindsey Graham, answer the question. South Carolinians want to know. What is your gender preference? And Lindsey had a really humane and nuanced response. Would you like to hear it? Yeah. All right. So I just bought a Nissan Leaf, and I really like it. I had a 2005 Honda Odyssey minivan before, and I used to be a soccer mom basically because I worked from home, so I was always driving the kids. And we made our best friend couple at a youth soccer game when it was right at dusk and the mosquitoes were swarming and there were hordes, and someone pulled out the spray. And I said, oh, thank God I haven't had this many bugs crawling on me since I came off all that coke and acid. And they took me off the snack list. Nothing from Mr. Davis's hand goes into your mouth, okay? Do not get in his van, no. So I went from a soccer mom, sexual predator, to a vegan lesbian now. I have a Nissan Leaf. And I have some Republican friends, which back in the 70s, liberals like me, we would say things, yes, I have a black friend. Now in the 2018, yes, I have some conservative friends. And same tone. And my Republican was like, wait a minute, what kind of gas? No gas, plug it in the wall. Okay, there's an engine in there that'll put gas. No, there's no, it's like a golf cart, but without the sexist. That doesn't go with the country clubs either. They don't like that joke either. But I get yelled at by guys in Priuses. Come on, faggot, come on! Alcoholics and liquor sickles, get a real car! Best thing about fucking a dead circus clown? Knowing you got 11 more locked up in the VW. You ever pooped so hard you clogged the sink? That's not how it works. There are different types. If you were a plumber, you'd know. There's so much in the world to talk about, and all I did tonight was talk about myself, and y'all graciously listened. Thank you so very much. We'd love to have you. Love to come back if you'll have us back. Give a round of applause for Front Porch Improv. Sarah Napier, and Sam motherfucking There Is No God Hendry. See you sometime in the future. Thank you so much for coming out. John Brennan.
That's a wrap. Thanks, y'all.